Hi everybody, this is Shariar and you're watching All of Your Business. We have to talk a lot about solar panels and their new policies with our guest, Mr. Mehtab. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum
How are
assalam.
you, sir?
I am fine.
Sir, we have talked about the new solar policy in the previous episodes. Now, social media users have rejected the policy and there was a lot of backlash by them towards the authorities. Now the government has stopped the implementation of the new solar policy. So what is it about and how do you see it?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Thank you very much for having me. Actually, after receiving severe backlash from across the board on social media as well as in the electronic and print media, Prime Minister of Pakistan has instructed the Power Division to file a review petition before the regulator NEPRA, National Electric Power Regulatory Authority, so that the solar benefits will continue to provide for the existing, for those who have installed solar panels at their rooftops. So it is yet to see how the NEPRA is going to bring amendments in the new regulation. But for the time being, these regulations have been halted for those who have already obtained the net metering.
Right.
And there are around 0.5 million prosumers who are currently using the net metering. And they are generating 6,000 megawatt electricity. And that is another thing, that off the grid, there are estimates that 22,000 megawatt are being generated through solar panels. So it is a increasing phenomena. And today, Government of Pakistan has also launched another program which is very crucial to replace the inefficient and existing fans with the new technology and with the new fans. Today, the government has launched this program, and because of this program, the overall prices of electricity the government will be able to further reduce the electricity prices. Government claims that they have already reduced the electricity prices by 20%. And for the industrial sector, they have reduced the tariff around 30%. So the government is moving towards that objective where they are trying to reduce the cost for those who are dependent on the national grid.
So, sir, do you think in the future solar panels net metering will continue?
I think the existing net metering will continue,
Right.
but for those who are going to install or who are going to install the new net metering, they will have to face the new regulations. And the problem is that all those under the new regulations, if someone is generating extra electricity and exporting to the national grid, its rates were reduced from 26 unit to 11 rupees per unit. And on the other hand, what if he is using, a prosumer or consumer is using from the national grid, his average price of electricity is rupees 40 per unit. So this kind of policy is going to persist because power sector is facing a dilemma where the cost of electricity on the national grid is more and the cost they are producing through the solar is cheaper. So there is a dilemma which the power sector is facing.
Sir, as an expert, how do you see it?
I think there is a need to reduce the cost on the national grid as well. That is the way forward. Because if we are not be able to reduce the cost of electricity on the national grid, then everyone will have no other option but he will his or her reliance on the solar will increase. And people are currently exploring the option of hybrid.
Right. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
there is a solution that the government will have to weigh or explore all other options to reduce the cost of electricity generated or provided through the national grid.
Right.
That is the way forward.
That is the way forward. Sir, Pakistan has approved the bill to fast track internet and mobile network expansion. So, does that mean the shark will no longer cut the wires in the
Actually,
sea?
no. This bill has been approved by the National Assembly Standing Committee on Information Technology. It will help to promote fiberization.
Right.
Under the National Fiberization Plan, it is the plan of the government to lay the fiberization around 130,000 kilometers all across the country. And so far, with the help of the USF, they have already laid down the fiberization around 20,000 kilometers in all far-flung areas of the country. So it is an ambitious plan, and this bill will provide an enabling environment to lay the fiberization, because there is an issue of right of way, because without resolution or providing solution to the right of way, the fiberization will not be able to lay down in all across the country. So through this bill, it will help to expand its network, and fiberization will also help to achieve the higher speed of the internet, and it will be promoted in the years to come.
Right. So, government's debt has risen to 78.5 trillion in the first half fiscal year. So, it's too much. And what is going to be challenged in this, and how do you see it?
Actually, that means that there is a gap between the revenues and the expenditures. And when there is a gap, it is called the fiscal deficit.
Right.
And financing of the fiscal deficit is managed through borrowing, and borrowing through domestic avenues as well as the external sector. So far, Pakistan has been able to maintain its external debt and liabilities hovering around $130 billion in last 1.5 year period. And our major reliance has been shifted on the domestic borrowing. As there is a gap between overall revenues and expenditures, so there is no other way but to borrow to finance this fiscal gap. There is a need to boost or promote the tax revenues and reduce the expenditures.
Right.
If we will be able to bridge this gap, then our reliance on increasing debt will be reduced. That is the way forward. And that's why under the IMF program, and FBR is vying and exploring all its options to increase the tax revenues. But there is another issue, that through NFC, 60% resources are shifted to the provinces. That's why provinces are rich and federal government is poor. So there is also need to create a fiscal balance between the center and the provinces. That's why NFC discussions are crucial.
Sir, how challenging it would be for Pakistan to do this?
It's a challenging situation because creation of fiscal balance requires that we will have to increase and broaden the tax base, and we will have to reduce the expenditures. No household can run if its reliance increases on the borrowing. How it can be reduced? It can only be reduced if we are able to increase our income and reduce our expenditures. So it's a challenge for the country, it's a challenge for the households, but for the country, we will have to expand our narrow tax base. Otherwise, there is no other option, and we will have to rationalize expenditures as well. All those expenditures which are considered wasteful expenditures, it should be curtailed.
Right, sir. Sir, power policies have been the talk of the town across the social media, across everybody, from industry people to middle class And analysts are saying now that middle class is going to bear the brunt of the new policy rates, power policy rates. Sir, is it true? Is middle
Actually,
class in trouble?
yes. Actually, there are two policies under which
Hmm.
earlier the households or domestic consumers are protected and the industrial sector were facing the brunt. Now the government has changed and now the government has proposed and approved, NEPRA has approved a policy where the government is going to impose fixed charges on both the protected and non-protected consumers. And with the help of this money, the government is going to provide around 130 billion rupees tariff reduction to the industrial sector, where the industrial sectors and for especially for the exporters, the tariff has been reduced more than 4 rupees per unit. So with this policy, there are estimates that it is going to cause an inflationary impact of 1.1%. And as you know, we are under IMF program and the tight scrutiny and tight nose of the IMF program. So the government cannot provide a dole out subsidy to the industrial sector. So the government has opted and preferred to keep this policy so that industrial output can be increased because it will help to promote industrialization and promote the economic activity. But of course, households are going to face the brunt and they are going to face an inflation pressure. And estimates are suggesting that it will cause an CPI related basket will go up around 1.1%.
Right, right. Thank you so much, sir.
Always welcome.
That was all for today. If you want us to talk more about solar panels policy or if you want us to talk about any other prices issues, do let us know in the comments. Till then, keep watching All of Your Business. This is Shahryar signing out.